actually wrote a thing today, now I'm going to get emotional again, to Jim, thanking him for helping me heal by running the unions. My daughter would always say she never understood because I never talked about it, but now I do. And the reunions did that. So
you started talking, you started opening up as a result of the reunions?
yeah, I went to the first one in 2015. Eli called me for years. We served together. He was in a different section, but we knew each other there. And he kept, Ron, come. You need to come. You need to come. And no, I want to leave that in the past. But it's real cleansing. It really is. And it's, the 1 week a year, I wore all my T-shirts. So,
yeah. And everybody there understands.
Oh, they all do.
Understanding.
Yeah. And there's another crazy story. The first reunion that I attended was the memorial reunion where we had, and in 2015 we went to Fort Sill, and that was very emotional. I had he wasn't really my grandson, but he was like my grandson. He was my daughter's husband's son from another, and he was 14 going on 15, but a giant of a boy, and so I brought him with me, and it was kind of nice, and he enjoyed the heck out of it. But I came in, and we stayed at this Best Western place. It was not very nice. Anyway, I walked around, I looked, I signed things, looked around, looked at people, and there was nobody there I knew or recognized. I mean, not a soul. And I walked, and I had my name tag, and I'm hoping somebody would say something to me, and nobody said a word. I went up to the room and said, "Oh, this is bad. This isn't good." And then Doug calls me. Doug said, "You remember me?" And well, hell yeah, I remember you. And yeah. So then he had been here a couple years and met more people, and the change, and we had pictures, and I remember Fritz, what's his name? Oh, geez. I had a picture of Fritz reading a Stars and Stripes paper, and Fritz is now, or he's retired, but some $300-400 million guy, and he was one of my PFCs when I was E5, and he, it was nice. Everybody changed, everybody was different, but everybody was the same. And once I started to know more people, yeah, I think it's very healing. I would recommend it to anybody. I tried to get still wax for years, not years, about 3-4 years. I'd pester him. We'd go out to lunch every once in a while. I'd say, "You got to come. I mean, I'll pay for your thing. I mean, how much is it going to cost? You got to come." You say, "No, I don't want to do it." And he sounded like me. Eli will tell you, he called me for 9 months, and I finally agreed to go to 2015. And what they did for us there was really nice. We were with the 1st and 40th that's as a training unit now, and they had signed their sergeant major and their S2, which was a major, what was his name? Real simple, 3 letters. He was a Vietnamese. He was one of the last Vietnamese out of Saigon, and now he was a major in the U.S. Army attached to the 1st and 40th. And so he stopped whatever he was doing to take care of us for the week, and we got full. They treated us nice. So, all right. Hi, I'm Ron Trace. I'm 78 years old. I served between 1966 and 1968. I was in Vietnam in 67 to 68 in the Army. in the artillery, 1st Battalion, 40th Artillery, and I was one of the older ones at 20, as a matter of fact. It was really funny. And I had college. I had almost 3 years of college when I got drafted, which is a unique thing. I had hurt my knee playing football in college. I was on a scholarship. I lost my scholarship, and I was out looking for a job, and they recommended that I go and get a deferment, a draft deferment, a 4F, physically unable to. And I thought, well, that'd be a good idea. And the recruiter said, do that, and it'll be easier for you to find a job. Well, I went in and had my draft number pushed up, received a letter that said report for physical and induction, and I showed it to everybody, and you're not going in that day. And I says, no, because I've got this letter from Dr. Fox. And so I went in, the physical, and I was in Chicago on Van Buren Street, and I stood there taking physical, and I gave the letter to the doctor. And Dr. Fox was a well-known orthopedic surgeon in Chicago at the time, Chicago Bears physician. And the military doctor said, do a squat. And I can't bend. To today, I can't bend all the way down. And he says, well, that's good enough. You'll be able to serve. And that's exactly what I did. I almost fell over. I had nothing with me. I didn't have a shaving kit. I didn't have any underwear. I had nothing. And they basically lock you up so you can't get back out because a lot of people would leave. So I'm calling, and I can remember I was engaged at the time, and my fiance said, I'm going in. They're taking me. And she said, you're always joking. Shut up, go, and I have no time for you today. And I couldn't get her to respond. So I finally got a hold of my parents late in the day, and they brought me stuff, and my fiance came, and at 12 o'clock, I was on my way to Fort Campbell, Kentucky. I had to phone my place. I was working for Chicago Title and Trust at the time. And I had to phone that in, and there I was. I went in, did my basic training, was sent to Fort Gordon in Georgia to become an MP, and about a week after I got to Fort Gordon, they said that my MOS survey became a critical, so they sent me from Fort Gordon to Fort Sill, Oklahoma. And I thought that was pretty good. Fort Gordon was, and Fort Sill was a fairly nice place, and so I spent, I don't remember, 6 or 8 weeks there. So
At Fort Sill?
Fort Sill,
Okay.
training to be a surveyor. When I finished, that was another interesting thing. I think it was interesting. It was interesting to me that they had all these 60 or 70 guys that were in my class with me, and he went to Korea, and he went to Germany, and he went to New York, he went to Fort Dix, and there was like 11 of us left, and there was no place to send us, so they sent us to Vietnam as replacements. And that, you know, that, as a matter of fact, I think that could be interesting. And I got to leave 2 weeks, went home, went to San Francisco, and they flew us to San Francisco. We got a little training. We got about a week's worth of training. Not very good training, I don't think. But it was good. It gave us a basic, well, it basically scared you. You were anticipating just terrible things. And so I went home, and it was kind of interesting because everybody kind of, as I look back now, kind of stayed away. It was almost like I had the flu or a cold.
You mean like friends and family?
Friends and family. My uncle, who was a veteran, he came by. and he talked. He was a veteran in World War II, and he talked, and I think he was trying to give me experience, and he actually gave me a K-bar knife to carry, which I did.
Were you able to take your personal knife?
Yeah, yeah. As a matter of fact, I have it framed still today, so it shows that it was in Guadalcanal and in Dong Ha, Vietnam. So I thought that was cool. So, but all he did was scare me, really. I mean, I never said it out loud, but it just made me more and more nervous. And so I went to San Francisco, and of course, it's the first experience, and you don't know anything to do, and there's really not a lot of help. I'm a little more worldly than a lot, so a few of them followed what I did, and I didn't know what I was doing. So we went, and they put overnight, and they put us on a gigantic plane. I mean, just the most uncomfortable thing. And I think it was about 20-hour flight. We stopped in Guam. It was a commercial plane. It was Northwest or United, but it was laid out differently. It was all coach seating, I guess, the way, and they loaded you by rank. So us newbies all sat in the back, and then as it got forward, it was the sergeants and the officers, field grade officers, and so they sat up farther. Not better seats. They were all the same, but they had a different section of the plane.
Right.
And we
Did you
flew.
have any interactions with the stewardesses?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, and the stewardesses, I remember, were just phenomenally friendly. I think they knew what they were doing, and they knew that a lot of people were real nervous. There was a little air sickness. A bunch of the guys got air sick. Of course, there were no drinks. They served water, soda. I don't even remember eating for that 24 hours. I'm sure we did, but I don't remember it. And everything was nice. Communications, and mainly you chatted with the 3, 4 people that were around you, and everybody wanted to know if anybody knew anything, and of course nobody knew anything. And so you land, and we landed in Cameron Bay. And yes, I think this part's really kind of funny, because you get to Cameron Bay, and you expect, because they put it in your head, a war. You expect to hear missiles, and in Cameron Bay, there's nobody has a gun, nobody has a weapon. Everybody's kind of walking, nice, gentle, clear. I mean, it's nice concrete, better concrete than they have, in Chicago. It's smooth, everything's nice. They load you on a bus, and they give you a bed, and you sleep for as long as you can sleep to get over the time change. And you sleep, and you get up, and nobody tells you anything. You wake up, and so you got a duffel bag full of stuff. And where do you put the duffel bag? Leave it by your bed. People will, okay, fine. You can go over here and eat, and then you go into a room, and you get interviewed. And I guess they had, back in '67, there weren't computer-based items, so everything was paper-based, but somebody had a file and said, okay, well, we don't have anything for you here, so we're going to send you to Nha Trang. Now, well, that's interesting. Okay, where's Nha Trang? Well, it's just a little north. And so I'm frantically looking for a map, because I want to know where I'm at first physically. And of course there's none. So I said, how do I get to Nha Trang? And the guy gives me a slip of paper. I swear it's like a card. And it says my name on it, private, and here's his to Nha Trang. You go show this to the air, whatever they called them, I don't remember, and you get on a waiting list. Waiting list? Yeah. He says getting into training's easy. You just get on a plane or just. So you're all by yourself. You're carrying your duffel bag. Where do you go in the train? They don't tell you.
Are you armed at this point?
No,
You still
no,
haven't been issued a weapon.
no. Plus, but you haven't seen anybody that is armed. I remember riding on a bus in Cameron Bay, and there was a stoplight, and that cracked me up. I thought, this is a war zone, and here's this wonderful smooth highway and concrete, and there's a stoplight. This doesn't look like any of the World War II movies I've watched, okay? This is nothing like they trained me for. So maybe I was naive. I don't know. It was just, so I get in the train, and it's beautiful. I mean, we're driving through the outskirts of the city, and you could see the city is just a gorgeous, tall hotels, beautiful ocean beach front, and we get to a camp, and we go in, and they sign you to a replacement area, and so we have mattresses and nice tents, like nice bathrooms, hot and cold running water. I put my stuff away, and I go. Nobody tells you what to do, where to go eat or anything, so you just kind of find it. I get something to eat, which is pretty decent food, and there's a USO show. So I caught the tail end of a USO show and thought, this may not be such a bad duty after all, okay? Again, nobody has any guns. Now in the train, they had a number of locals, Vietnamese, working to clean the tents and doing all that kind of stuff, and they explained that everybody chips in $10 a week or something to pay her or whatever. And I thought, this isn't bad, Yeah, so that works out well. So I go to the train and I wait there 3 days, and they thought they had a job for me. But then they decided that there was nothing there, so they sent me to Da Nang. Okay, where's Da Nang? Farther north. Okay, so, all right.
During your vacation.
Yeah, this is good. And the days are counting off, 'cause everybody counts 365. I'm sure everybody has said that. Because they'll ask you, and now I'm 9 days in, so I'm at 356, okay? And the more days I spend filling around, the better it is. And I get to Da Nang, and Da Nang is like gorgeous. It's this gigantic airport, big tall hotels, China Beach. I mean, Vietnam is okay. I mean, there's nothing, and all the bad stuff must be south, because the farther I go north, the nicer it gets.
No sign of war thus far.
Nothing at all. Now I finally saw people with guns. That's true. That's the first time I noticed, and they were the MPs, and they were patrolling the base, and they had guns and M16s, but I carried my knife. I was protected. I don't know how I would have protected myself, but I had my knife. And I spent 3 days in Da Nang, which was nice. I ate with the Air Force, but then the replacement people said, nothing. We have an assignment for you, and it's in Dung Ha. Okay, I never heard of Dung Ha, but where is Dung Ha? It's north. And it was kind of a joke with me already, because everything is up north. And as so far, I went from Cameron Bay to Nha Trang to Da Nang. It's all been pretty good. So Dung Ha is, And I took a 130 into Dung Ha, and which was, I think, about the biggest plane they could land there. And Dung Ha wasn't as pretty. We had a circle because they had just gotten a mortar attack, and they blew up part of the runway. So we had a circle for about 15 minutes while they replaced part of the runway. Now I was getting a little nervous, okay, because I saw the smoke come up, and so we landed. And when you landed, I don't know if the pilot was bad or whatever, but almost went off the end of the runway. They have to. It was so short. They had to hit the reverse brakes and the flaps and I look, and now the concrete isn't there anymore. Now everybody's carrying something, you know, a lot of M14s, a lot of M16s, a lot of activity, but not like Cameron Bay, Da Nang, or Nha Trang. This is, and I'm going, oh, yeah, I said it more than once. So I go into the replacement, and my orders are first and 40th. Okay, I'll call over. Somebody will send a car for you. Go sit outside. Go sit outside? Yeah, there's a bench they have outside of this little tent hutch outside the airport.
And you're by yourself.
By yourself the whole time. And I get nervous, and so I'm sitting there, and got a warrant officer. And I barely knew what a warrant officer was, but with the word officer, I knew that it was something. And he said, come on, I need some help. I got to unload. And I went, all right. So I moseyed over there, and I kept looking back because my duffel bag was there. I was worried about somebody taking my duffel bag. And we get to the helicopter, and there's body bags. We had loaded. No care, boom, 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 boom. And then they send you back. So, but nobody, so, and I was more mature, I think.
It got real
very quickly. So I got back to the thing, and the Jeep came, and I can remember the guy that picked me up was a guy by the name of Ron Stillwax, who he passed away about 3 years ago, 4 years ago, but he ended up living no more than 15 or 20 miles from where I am in Georgia. And we were pretty good friends. But he would never come. He hated it so much, he'd never come to this. So I tried to talk him into it. But then you get issued, and now all of a sudden, you're assigned to this, and you got a sergeant. Now you're back to structure, and I can't even remember the first jobs we did. We did some surveying, some gun registration, and we went outside. I can remember the first convoy I was on. It was scary because the night before, they sent a convoy from Dong Ha to Jolin. We had one of our batteries there, and it got hit. And a friend of mine, a new friend of mine, was on that convoy, and he was relaying it, and he said he didn't even have a rifle, and he didn't know where to jump when it started hitting. And it's funny because if you relayed the story, and nobody got hurt, fortunately, and but then the next night, here I am on that convoy going up there, so and then we didn't get hit, and so it was all, it started to become mundane. You became familiar with it. You had friends. We slept when I was there, we were still in tents. There was a hardwood plywood floor, but they were 8-man tents. And I can remember going out, about a month later, I went on patrol, night patrol. They called it an ambush patrol. And so we were out all night, and it rained all night, and I came back in, and I had a corner and the flap flew up and everything I owned was soaked. Nobody, because everybody was working, they couldn't stop to fix it. So I have a picture of me sitting there going, you know, it's,
What am I gonna do now?
yeah, everything is soaked. You came in from patrol and there was no hot water because that was, in the morning you came back and the cooks would light the hot water in the afternoon. So you showered in the cold water, came back in, and I had everything wet, so I laid everything out, and that was it. So I think after that initial experience, you started getting harder. There was always a bond. One of my best friends at the reunion, and he was one of my best friends in Vietnam. As a matter of fact, I invited him to come and join me for this because we were together a bunch. He turned out to be best friends with my best friend in Vietnam, a gentleman by the name of George Cubbage. And George was the salt of the earth. He was the best guy. He actually tried to organize the first reunion for our group. It didn't go over very big. I think it was too early. Vietnam was still in effect, going on. And the other funny thing is, Doug got a Purple Heart, and when he got his Purple Heart, George was with him. When I got hit, George was with me. George never got hit, okay? So George was considered a lucky charm.
He had a shield of protection.
Yeah, he was like Pigpen. He had that cloud, but that cloud fit over him. So, that's another odd thing too. You get this. I was hit in the head, which a lot of people say is obvious, and I was cut. And for some reason they couldn't stitch it, so they had to shave my head and butterfly it, and then they sent me to a hospital ship in Da Nang Harbor. you helicoptered into that thing. And I spent 2 days there, which was really neat, really good food, attentive nurses, and then you flew back. And I actually flew back and still had an open wound. So they put me on light duty, so that meant I, stayed right in camp, didn't have to go out, do anything. And I took advantage of that, for sure. So.
What did you get hit in the head with?
A piece of shrapnel. I had it for years. I don't know where it's at now. It hit. I heard a round coming, and I dove on the ground. And when I dove, my helmet and everything I had ammo boxes. I was going out to one of the posts because we thought there was an imminent attack, and I hit the ground, and my helmet went this way, and this went this way, that went that way, and it was funny. I felt it, but didn't realize that it did anything until I got up and it was warm. I thought I was sweating, and I went,
I've been hit.
yeah. So I went over to the medics, and the guy goes, "Oh, as a matter of fact, he's here, Bill." No, that's nothing. Yeah, he patched me up. Then he moved over to A Battery. He was in headquarters. I'm 90% sure because he remembers it. So that was it. Ceremonies and things started getting more. We got a new captain, and he was a West Point, and strict and hard, but the nicest man, good personality. I would have loved to have met him outside of the Army. I think he would be just a good, solid man, and he tightened up the unit. Rank was very important to him, and I remember that he was about 5'6" or 5'7", was a short man. Sergeant Major Cousins was my first sergeant. He was my platoon battery. I was in headquarters battery, and Cousins was our first sergeant there. And my unit sergeant, the survey sergeant, and cousins were really good friends. They had both been in World War II and in Korea. And I mean, they had
Lots of colors.
lots of colors. And he was a good man. And Cousins being as tall as he was and this new sergeant, but then they switched everything around. Cousins became sergeant major. Bailey got hit and they sent him home. But that was after I was gone. So Bailey never made it to first sergeant. So all the bad stuff. Oh, yeah. I was one of the people that was spit on at the airport.
Sorry.
Yeah, me too. Well,
Which airport did you come into?
O'Hare. Well, I came into a bunch of them, and a guy at O'Hare, he really got me pretty good. And I wasn't as quiet. I guess I'm not quiet today, but I was pretty much on edge, and I went after him. And two MPs grabbed me and said, if you get him, you're going to get in a lot of trouble. And I said, I'm out. I was cleared no more than 10 hours ago. Let me go. I won him. And the one MP let me go, and the other one held me. And he had a hard time because I was a little bigger than I am now and a little better in shape. So I wanted the guy. And the guy's face was white. If he knew if I would have, but yeah, so.
I'm sorry you experienced that.
Yeah, well, I don't think I was the only one.
Do you have anything you want to say to those people? Say to them now, to the people that did things like that then.
I'm sorry you didn't understand. I didn't want to go. So I think all, and I was one of them, but all we did is what needed to be done. And sometimes we weren't told what needed to be done. We just did it, and it was okay. And sometimes it wasn't okay, but you did it anyway. And I didn't think I'd get emotional. I figured I'd be Mr. Cool.
You are Mr. Cool.
I can
That was the worst part of their duty.
I remember I went home. Of course, my parents were super happy to see me. My dog loved me. Everything was great. And I took off my uniform and put on my clothes. Most of them didn't fit, but I put them on and I put the uniform away. And about a week and a half, 2 weeks later, my mom came by and she says, "Why don't you wear your uniform?" No. You know, it's there. It's a memory. Let it be. And what was I then? 21, going to be 22, and all of a sudden I'm so philosophical. And you know, I was a football player. I was a big hero, so I liked the hero part. You know, I had some medals. You think I let them sit. Nobody needs. Nobody understands. My daughter didn't even know I won a Purple Heart until, I don't know, probably 5, 6 years ago. So.
Yeah, as you know, I dub you the bravest generation.
Yeah.
But I always say, but you're in contention for the most humble too.
I don't know about that
Oh,
part.
I do.
You should hear what I
I
hear.
can't even start giving you all praises, and you're already deflecting it. No, it's this generation's bad. This is like no. I just want to like
Shake my
No, you are.
Well, I don't know about that, but that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I love your books, and you write in a good style for me. So I gave the 77 letters to my daughter. I meant to bring my other one so you could autograph it. I'll catch you another time. And so I said, you got to read it. And she's she's like me. She reads everything she gets. And she read, I said, well, how you doing on the book? She said, it's hard. She couldn't relate to And I think part of the reason that she couldn't relate to your book is because I didn't tell her, and that helped prompt me to tell her more and made her understand. I don't know if I got, but I actually received letters and packages from people I didn't know.
Good.
So, yeah, we had our unit. I hope more guys told you that because our unit got some.
Okay, no,
So,
you're the first to say that.
yeah, no, I know we got some because I can remember getting one, a box. It had cookies in it, and they had packed cookies and popcorn, and the cookies were so hard you couldn't even. But the popcorn was good.
Oh, an actual popcorn.
Actual real
Oh,
popcorn.
you're right. They used to use actual popcorn.
Yeah, yeah,
I forgot of that until
yeah.
just now.
It was funny
I
because
thought you were talking about the styrofoam popcorn.
no,
But
no,
I
no,
do
no.
remember
This was
now.
real popcorn. They put
did.
it in there, but I guess the popcorn took the whatever,
Yeah, the moisture.
all the moisture out of the cookies,
Yeah.
and of course it took 2 months to get across the boat.
Right,
So anyway,
right.
it's time for me to shut up. You probably got two more
No,
people,
no,
so
I think I'm
I
good.
think I talked
James
way
was,
too long.
Not
So
at all. You were perfect.
oh yeah,
Perfect.
right, right.
Perfect.
I need you to write that down and send it to me.